Welcome to The Joyful Life, the podcast for finding true happiness in every aspect of your life through spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental health. I'm your host, Anthony LaJoy, and thanks for joining us for another episode of exploration into personal success. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Joyful Life. This week we're joined by my really good friend, Mike Nichols. So, nothing much, man. I'm glad you can make it on the show.
Oh, me too.
It's good to have you here. I know we've talked a lot about what we're about to talk about, but we're going to share it with you guys here today. So
come along for the ride.
Exactly. So basically, actually, Mike and I are really good friends. We're both Ohio boys, both moved to Florida. And, the fun fact, we share the same birthday. So we're pretty much...
Same day.
Yeah, pretty much blood brothers almost.
He's just 1 year older.
Yeah, so I've got a gray hair up in here, so it is what it is.
One or two.
Anyhow, so Mike is here today to talk to us a little bit about physical health. I know, with my brand, it incorporates spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental health all in one. However, I thought it would be interesting to have people on to talk about these different aspects and how you might go about achieving your physical health, your spiritual health. So Mike's here today to talk about the physical side of this. You went to school for this stuff, so he actually knows what he's talking about. And talk to us a little bit about your background, and so the folks at home can hear about that.
Yeah, went to the school of picking heavy things up. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, I started out in high school. I was smaller than everybody. I was the youngest kid in my class, so in order to participate in sports and be able to be active with it, I had to work that much harder than everybody else, and then I just kind of really developed a passion for it. So I have a degree in kinesiology from Kent State University. I've been a strength coach, and I love working with athletes and kids, or pretty much anyone that has goals for stuff. So I've coached basically probably 5th grade through early college athletes.
You've done a lot with athletes, for sure.
One thing or another. So I have a little bit of knowledge. I'm taking some nutrition classes and stuff as well.
Yeah, and you got that background, with the supplements, and that. I remember you kind of did a stint with GNC, and
that I did.
So you worked your way up through the ranks. Definitely, I think the one thing that's really impressed me about you is you've always had a great discipline when it comes to the gym. There's times that I remember saying, "Hey man, do you want to come out and hang out?" And your response oftentimes would be, "Yeah, just gotta hit the gym real quick." And that could be, you get off work sometimes, 8 o'clock or even later, and I invite you out for dinner or something, and this guy would be, going to the gym at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. So, your discipline is awesome, and I think that's something to be aspired to. And it kind of leads us into what we're talking about today too. I think when you get in the gym, when you set your mind on a goal, you have to be very driven to succeed and keep your mind focused on that goal and know what you want. And physical health isn't the same for everybody. It's not necessarily, getting to be a huge, super strong guy for the guys out there. And the most important thing about it is not only to keep your mind set on the goal and where you want to be, but also remember that physical health isn't just going to the gym. It isn't just running. It isn't...
Yeah, it isn't really just muscular or anything like that. And you have your cardio stuff, which I even should be better about, but I'm not a big fan of running.
Right.
It's not that fun to me.
It's about diet and supplements too, though. And so that's kind of what we're going to get into a little bit today. And so speaking of that, talk to us a little bit about some things that you've seen maybe people make mistakes on when it comes to, hey, I'm going to lose weight, so that means I'm just not going to eat anything, and I'm going to work out a bunch. That's not the right approach.
No, so basically, in order to lose weight, you have to burn more calories than you consume. But if you don't eat anything, if you're trying to just
pop this up a little bit here. Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Heyo.
I guess I'll see you.
But if you're going to just try to exercise and not eat anything, you're never going to have the energy to get the workouts in that you actually want to do.
True.
But another big part of that is, hydration, because your body's able to flush out more negative things and toxins and stuff like that. And actually, a lot of fat is water soluble, so it'll, in theory, the more water you drink, potentially the more fat you could expel from your body without even doing anything. But it's actually funny that you ask, common misconceptions and stuff. I had a buddy that I actually wrestled with back in high school, and one time we were at the rec in college, and he would throw all sorts of layers on when we would go to the rec, and he would go run and do all sorts of fun stuff that way, and he would wear a hat, and, I mean the whole 9 yards.
This dude sounds like the classic Rocky.
Yeah, so maybe that's where he got this, because that 70s concept. But so I asked him, like, why are you doing all this? And he had shorts on too, and he would eat still most of the stuff he wanted. He tried to diet a little bit, but his response to me was, if I lose 5 pounds in sweat, there's no way I'm going to drink 5 pounds of water. And my response to him was, okay, so you mean to tell me from every time you work out, you're never going to replenish that amount of water, right? And he's like, yeah, it's never going to happen. I said, okay, well, eventually you're just going to die.
That's right. I mean, your body's what, like 70% water? Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So
Varying, but yeah.
Yeah, if you're just sweating out or trying to sweat out all the liquid and the water you have, I mean, that's, basically you're sweating your life away, literally.
Yeah, you won't survive, but
yeah. So it's interesting that some foods actually kind of help you burn fat too. They feed the muscle, but you're burning fat at the same time.
Well, yeah, there's certain lean things like lean meats and whatnot, or even like healthy fats that help your body metabolize other things a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And oddly enough, like spicy foods, because it increases your internal temperature, so you can potentially, in theory, burn more.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a huge spicy fan or spicy food fan, but yeah, you love it. But I'm trying to eat more. I really am, because of that exact reason. This kind of helps you, clean out your body a little bit and burn some of it off. I mean, it's
clean
true.
it out.
I know. I guess it's a little detailed, I guess, but it's true, and you need to stay healthy in that. But when it comes to supplements too, it's really important to take your multivitamins every day.
Yeah.
In addition to other workout supplements, I'm sure we'll talk about that. But
yeah, there's some things that are really helpful. Other things you don't really need so much. But
yeah.
Multivitamins I definitely recommend. Probiotics too. That's something that's kind of come up a little bit more in recent years. Mm-hmm. But I know that there's like yogurts and kombucha, all that stuff that talk about increasing your natural probiotics. But I think actually taking a probiotic will help, because it helps kind of clear out a little bit of that stuff that's kind of stuck in from all the garbage that most of us have been putting in our bodies, in fast food and stuff for years.
Yeah. The one of the best probiotics too is just Greek yogurt. That's a really healthy, natural one. Yeah, that I've actually enjoyed. I try to put that into protein shakes and stuff.
That's good. I like smoothies.
Yeah, those are really
some
good.
fruits and stuff.
One thing I'm trying to do, I'm actually going to try it out, I think, this weekend. So it's a new thing. So stand by there I'm sure I'll post about it on the Joyful Life over on my Instagram. But I'm going to try a new like a coffee protein shake, man. So it's got the coffee in it, and then it has banana. It has rolled oats. And then you can put like peanut butter or some other type of oil in there too. I'm 100% going peanut butter on that one. And I think that'd be pretty good. And that's going to be my coffee in the morning after the gym. So that's another thing. Time of day that you work out. I'm a morning guy. I get up at 4:30 to go to the gym every morning. What's your preference? And does preference make a difference in results?
My personal preference is morning as well. I feel like it really helps you jumpstart your day, gets you kind of in the right mindset, and it actually kind of rolls over in a little bit of that mental health aspect, because if you have any like frustration, stuff like that, it'll help you get a little bit of that tension and whatnot out of there.
Clarity.
Because otherwise, I mean, if you're like me, you get a little wound up at times. So definitely morning. Also, it does have an effect on your metabolism for the day. So that's why I typically recommend that. Obviously, if you have the time and the energy to go twice a day, I would do like morning and then maybe like evening sometime. Give your body a chance to kind of rest a little bit before you go to bed. But the morning definitely sets your metabolism up for the day. And then if you were to, be able to do it again at night, that would be awesome because you basically burn off your dinner or whatever you had. So you could basically have a cheat meal if you wanted.
Talk a little bit about your diet suggestions. When you're going, let's start at the grocery store. What's some things that you should be getting when you go there? In a perfect world. So
eggs, obviously. I mean, some people will disagree with me on that, and the fact that eggs and in the yolk it has enough stored energy to basically feed a baby chicken for 7 days, and we've had this conversation before. But at the same time, it takes a lot of baby chickens to add up to me anyway, so I feel like I'm good.
That's a good point, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a great point.
So eggs, honestly, and you don't even have to eat the yolk if you don't want to. You could do kind of the egg white route. So what I used to do, and probably the best shape I've ever been in, was I would do a egg white sandwich. It was actually about 5 egg whites every morning with some fat-free cheese on wheat bread.
Yeah, that whole wheat bread, you can't beat it. It's not white bread, not sourdough. No, it's like wheat. Get the good stuff.
Yeah,
do yourself a favor.
Find you a good one.
Yeah, do yourself a favor there.
So eggs, obviously, like I said, if you can find fat-free cheese, it's dope because you have a little bit of protein in there. You get a little bit of carbs, but it's not straight fat, which I don't know exactly how it works because that's pretty much what cheese is supposed to be. But somehow they made it work, and it's a miracle, and it's good stuff. But
and then let's get balanced to. So yeah, eggs are a great start to your day, and then veggies. I think it's really important. Multivitamins are great,
definitely.
But you need to also eat your greens. I think it's really important every day.
Yeah,
and some greens are better than others.
Yeah, I would still. I'm a fan of, I guess, convenience when it comes to this because not a lot of things about being healthy are convenient, and that's what makes it more difficult for a lot of people to do. So
that's why fast food blew up so quick.
It is.
Yeah,
and honestly, it's good stuff. You know what I mean?
It tastes good.
You don't want to eat it too often, but it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But I would get like the mixed vegetable bags, right? And you can actually like pretty much even pop them in the microwave if you need to, which can make it a little bit easier. So I'll do like some mixed vegetables, stuff like that. Huge fan of green beans because they're the only like vegetable that has its own like protein. That's awesome. Why I'm also a fan of quinoa. I'll do it with rice, usually like brown if possible.
Oh, you do the mix.
Yeah, because
I like it because that rice gives you your carbs.
Exactly.
That's awesome. In a side note here, I just want to interrupt for a second. I heard that, it was on the radio, but it was on a news agency that they did a story about that frozen veggies are actually better for you than what you think they are. So many people say, "Oh, it's in the frozen aisle. I'm not going to buy it." Oftentimes, it has a better shelf life than your fresh veggies. So if you can get fresh veggies right off the vine, then that's the best thing for you.
Yeah,
but
if you're picking them yourself, then yeah.
Of course, but the fresh produce in the store, it's sometimes a week old by the time they get it here, washed and everything else. Yeah, you gotta, of course, wash yourself. But
versus that flash frozen.
Yep, you freeze it, and apparently that freezes in the nutrients as well. So it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So frozen veggies are way cheaper. And they are actually just as good for you. So think about that.
And much more convenient.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about the frozen broccoli that has the cheddar cheese, frozen on it, so that when you warm it up, it's already cheesy. Not that stuff.
It is tasty.
All right, like the plain, low sodium. So check your nutrition facts.
Yeah.
Right, I'm a big fan of that. What's some things on canned veggies, on ramen noodles? We talked about that. That's the college kid's dream, right? I guess if you're bulking, you can eat that stuff. But what are some things on a nutrition label that we should be looking at? And try to let's go 2 ways. If you're looking to lose weight, And if you're looking to gain weight, what should your nutrition labels look like?
Well, you want definitely no trans fats on there.
For we're going to lose weight first?
You're like just about not clogging your heart, basically.
Okay, so period, anything.
Yeah,
okay.
no trans fats, because that's artificial, it's man-made, and it's terrible for you. Saturated fats you want to stay away from if possible. There's very few good saturated fats, but you have pretty much if it's unsaturated, it's not too bad for you. And what saturated means is that molecule is already holding water or whatever, so you don't want it saturated, you want it unsaturated, right? Then when you look at your carbs, you want to look and see what percentage of those carbohydrates is sugar. Because sugar can be added in, it can be anything, but it's just quick release. So if you don't use that energy right now, your body's going to store it as fat. Versus, your complex carbs, which your body will use for energy throughout the day, whatever, and that's kind of what's in your brown rice versus your white rice. Then obviously protein content. Protein is actually the thing that makes you feel full the most, which is huge for me because I'm hungry all the time. Kind of back on your thing with fasting, kudos to you, I can't do it. Yes. I'm starving.
I definitely get starving, but when I get to that point, I kind of focus on how good my digestive system feels at the time.
Well,
you feel very light.
I feel you there, but I ate at 3 o'clock. It's 5:12 and I'm dying. So
yeah, that's a good point. See, I don't really, I don't get quite as hungry in between like my meals like that. Just when I wake up in the morning, I'm pretty darn famished.
Yeah, but that's also kind of even touching back on that again real quick. And then I'll come back to more nutritional stuff. That's actually a thing that I read in high school with Terrell Owens. He had an 8,000 calorie a day diet, and he was shredded. But the thing was, is no carbs after 6 because anything after that you don't have time to burn it, and your body will store it. And you don't eat after 8.
Yeah.
Because that same kind of thing, your body doesn't have a chance to use it. So. I also don't recommend eating any heavy meats or anything late at night because how he was talking about digestive tract stuff, it's just really hard on your body to process it that late, especially when you go to sleep because it doesn't have any help in moving or burning anything.
Yeah.
But back on kind of the nutritional thing, you also want to try to stay away from things with high sodium. Especially if you have, high blood pressure, heart condition, stuff like that. But that's a whole other realm of things outside of just feeling good about yourself right now.
Yeah. So the main difference between if you're trying to lose weight opposed to if you're trying to gain weight for food. So gaining weight, you want to probably stack up on your carbs as well as your proteins a little bit, right?
I don't think protein's ever bad to have.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
And the thing is, and people will kind of argue a little bit on this concept, but protein itself cannot turn to fat. And I know people are going to kind of argue with that if you eat too much protein, you can still get fat. Yes, because everything has calories, and calories is the unit of heat or energy, and if you don't burn enough, then yes, your body will store it, but protein can't convert itself into fat. Only the carbohydrates can really, or obviously fat, which it already is.
Yeah. Now, the one point that you made before off camera is we've talked a little bit before about when you eat protein, how many grams of protein you should have per meal, because there's bodybuilders out there who say if you want to get bigger, you got to eat your body weight in protein every day. And I've tried this in my younger days.
Not 180 pounds of raw meat.
Yeah, that would be insane. No,
I'd be full.
Yeah, of grams. So like for me, 180 grams of protein per day if I'm working out intensely and I want to get bigger, right? I've tried doing it. I've succeeded on several days, but it's hard, man.
Can be definitely.
And one of the hardest aspects of that is that your body can only digest a set amount of protein per day. Yeah. I think it's like 30 to 40 grams. Or sorry, not per day, per meal. I'm messing up all over. About 30 to 40 grams per meal, right?
Yeah, essentially, give or take. And that's somebody that's probably a little bit more efficient. So kind of the rule of thumb is about 7 grams per hour. Now, obviously, there's different kinds of protein that are broken down and absorbed at different rates. So that's where you get a little bit of that wiggle room. But, it takes on average about 2.5, maybe 3 hours for stomach to completely empty and for your body to start digesting stuff fully. So in that time frame, you're looking at being able to process, like I said, 7 grams approximately an hour. So a lot of that you're taking in, your body's not necessarily using to its fullest potential, but that's also why they talk about eating 5-6 meals a day if you're trying to really reach goals.
Yeah. And if you're looking to lose weight, what are a couple foods? And we'll move on to some exercises. I want to get all the nutritional stuff first for those of you who already are into working out and just maybe want a couple tips on nutrition. And we'll move on to a couple of good exercises too. So we'll get there.
Yeah, so which thing you want me to go into first?
All right, no, to lose weight.
Losing weight?
A couple dietary things that we're trying to do.
Well, like I said, anytime you want to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit. So that means you have to burn more calories than you consume. So if you're somebody that doesn't exercise at all, that means you can't really eat that much.
Yeah.
And I love to eat. So I'm assuming, if you're checking this out, then you're probably like me. You enjoy eating, so you got to do something to be able to do it. Yeah. But some foods that are really good for it, like I said, would be the egg whites, because you're not getting any fat from it. There's no fat in an egg white. It's all in the yolk, but the white itself has about 8 grams of protein and no fat. So that's just a good place to start with it. And
salads are good too. I know that's really, that's a kind of a staple. A lot of people eat a lot of salads. I think that's what's going to help them lose weight in that. But when you eat a salad, be cautious. I see too many people doing a salad and then they go and put, the chicken, which is also great. And then they'll go ahead and throw some croutons and they throw some cheddar cheese and they...
it's the dressing. The dressing is what kills you.
Oh man, the ranch dressing, honey mustard.
The dressing kills you every time.
Yeah.
If you get some light Italian or some fat-free stuff, or then you're usually doing a little better. But
one of my favorites is a homemade one, and it's just olive oil. You drizzle it on there, and you use however much some people like a little lighter dressing, some like heavier. I like quite a bit of dressing, so I drizzle a good amount of that on. Then just put a little bit of salt in there. But the best part is lemon, fresh squeezed lemon all up in there. And lemon's perfect for you. And last thing, squeeze a whole lemon into water, like an 8 or 10 ounces of water in the morning. Drink that first thing in the morning. Amazing for weight loss and just for being healthy in general.
So I prefer lime, and it's also really good in rum or tequila. So I don't like it on my salads, but I don't like salads.
Oh, it's also good on tacos. Taco Tuesday. It's one of the best days of the week right there.
I haven't had to partake in a while. I've gotten to, right?
Yeah, we should do that. We have like a whole buffet of tacos. We should talk about it.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
So am I. We're going to move on. Let's go down to exercises. So.
Oh, we didn't even go into gaining weight. Look at you.
We talked a little bit about having the carbs, but also the protein and eating body weight and grams of protein.
Steak.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add to it?
Get some steak all day, as much as possible.
And I want to intervene there.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter is so good. I want to intervene on the meat though. I know we probably have a couple of hunters listening out there, and if you're listening, you know what I'm about to say.
Give him your meat.
No. Organic. Wild meat is the best. Not only does it taste the best, there are no preservatives in there. Your body will just eat that up and use every bit of it. The stuff's awesome, and until you've tried it, you can't knock it. So if you want to try it, please contact me. I will get you in touch with some wild organic meat. Venison, elk,
gator.
Gator too, yeah. You know what? The only gator I've had is from restaurants, and I don't really know if that's, truly fresh stuff. So, big fan of game meat, duck, wild fish, fresh caught fish. That stuff is so good.
You like it raw?
Sushi, love that stuff. I'm a big sushi fan. That's one thing I love about the Rock's diet, man. Every Sunday, the sushi train. He eats like 6 plates of sushi, and I'm so jealous.
Because he's 270. Back to what we were talking about. If you like to eat, you have to burn more calories. But you know how you burn more calories? You're 270 pounds of muscle. All right, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, he work out like an animal. That guy's impressive. So exercises. A couple good ones for guys, a couple good ones for girls. Guys always, the two things that guys want to get big, right? Their arms and their chest. You never hear about a guy being like, man, I want to go and get some leg gains. Those are only, super
Athletes.
serious. Yeah, athletes might talk about it, but your average, beach goer's like, dude, it's beach season. Oh, abs. How could I forget about those? He's like, I gotta get my chest, my abs, my arms. We're good. What are some exercises there for dudes and they get in the gym?
Honestly, most of your compound lifts. So your biggest things are going to be like your bench press. Your deadlift is a big one as well. Honestly, you can't really get as big of a torso or as big of arms as you would like if you don't work your legs, because your legs are actually how you produce more testosterone naturally, because you recruit more. But not everybody knows this, or not everybody pays attention to it, or not everybody wants to do legs because it's hard and it sucks.
It sure does.
But your compound lifts, so your main ones are going to be like, your bench press, deadlift, because deadlift's excellent for your back. That's a grown man's lift right there. You can't cheat it. You can either pick it up or you can't.
And you're a huge stickler on form. I remember we lifted a few times, and you'd watch my form super carefully, and it's important. So before you do any of these, if you're fresh to working out, Google it. Google the stuff he's talking about. Check out the good form. There's a couple really good guys that I would throw out there. Scott Herman is one that I followed for a while. He's got that classic New England accent, man, so he's a hoot to watch. But he's got some really good workout plans as well as some great videos. So check him out. I'm really impressed with his stuff. So he's got and he gives really good advice too.
Look and see what you're doing. Start light, figure out the form first. Don't hurt yourself, especially with deadlift. You can really hurt yourself. Or if you're benching and you drop the weight, hopefully somebody's right there to help you. So try to lift with a buddy.
Be safe in the gym though. I mean, don't be stupid. I mean, that's if you're going for total health, to live a joyful lifestyle, then be safe in the gym. We're not trying to get you hurt and put you in the hospital, because that's not living a very joyful lifestyle, is it? So
keep your arms and legs in the vehicle at all times. But another good one's going to be like your lat pulls, bent over rows, stuff like that. That combine a couple of different things, and some military presses, because you get your shoulders and triceps, everything in that as well. So if you're really looking to try to burn more calories, build more muscle, you want to do your compound stuff, your bigger things. Obviously, your pec is going to be, your biggest upper body muscle, pretty much. Your back has a bunch of little ones, but if you're working them all, you're going to get results, right? Kind of off of that.
No, I think that's good for there. This goes for guys and girls. If you want to gain mass, higher weight, lower reps. So, go for, 5 to 6 reps if you're trying to get bigger. And we're talking a weight that you struggle to get up 5 or 6 times. If you are, going for toning, you want to get tighter, you want to get chiseled, go 15, 20, even 25 reps, depending, how your body personally, feels about that. But I just go for toning. I do like 15 reps per set. It's like, but you want to be struggling on that 15th, right? So that's kind of rule of thumb. Higher weight, lower rep to get bigger.
That's how you get stronger, really.
Yeah, stronger too, yeah, for sure. But then to get chiseled, go lower weight, higher rep. So write that down. But that's good for guys and girls.
Kind of the funny thing about that, and this is more male specific, because I know a lot of women, when they're working out, they don't want to get too bulky. They don't want to put on any mass. They don't want to get bigger. Mm-hmm. So while we're talking about this, throw that out the window. You're not going to get bigger. You don't have enough testosterone to do so. It would take you years, literally years. Like, you're not going to walk into the gym, bench one time, and come out, with a chest like The Rock. And you're not going to pick up a dumbbell, curl it, and have Popeye arms. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If it was going to happen, guys would be doing it, and you know how many little guys that you see walking around, right? Mm-hmm. So it takes a lot of work to get that size. Yeah. I've been working out for a very long time, and I'm still not that big.
Yeah, it's with anything, man. To get good at it, to get to your goal, you got to put in the time. It's kind of like, if you want to be a millionaire, you're not going to do it overnight unless you win the lottery. You got to put in the time. So
You
commit
got to
to
buy
it.
a lot of lottery tickets. It might be years worth of lottery tickets.
That's true. That's true. What are some exercises for girls? Let's hit those up. I mean, I know girls tend to, more than guys, be focused on like, legs, booty.
Yep.
And they want to, have like the toned legs, and because they're, again, what you said, they're scared to get bulky up top, right?
Well, see, this is kind of even touching back on what he was saying with your rep ranges, right? So, like you said, the lower reps will get you stronger, the higher ones will get you more tone, stuff like that. But it touches back on that caloric balance, right? So, obviously, if you want to tone up a lot, you have to reduce the calories that you're taking, while you're still putting up those same amount of weights. Whereas if you're taking in a lot of calories while doing those reps, you're going to break down your muscle, and it'll store a little more of more glycogen and whatnot. So for women specifically, you want to look at squats and stuff. Obviously, doing it right, you can start off with goblet squats. If you don't know what that is, it's you're holding a dumbbell, but you can Google it. Stuff like that. A lot of like your leg kickbacks, or as you can see if you look them up, donkey kicks, mule kicks, whatever, where you're kicking back with a band maybe or some kind of resistance. Legs are the foundation of the body. Basically, you're kind of like a pyramid, and that's why the guys look goofy when they're super big up top. But
yeah,
there's a whole series of stuff that I actually have set aside or kind of laid out plans for friends of mine who are females that were just trying to tone or get bigger legs or hind quarters and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're, at the end of the day, you can Google a lot of this stuff, but some of the things he's talking about are all really, really true. And when you get to the gym, you got to find out what works best for you. You really do. You're going to see people doing all types of different things, but I think the important thing is when you get there, do whatever exercise you do, make sure you're doing it correctly. So, if you've never walked in a gym before, hire a personal trainer at the gym. It's not a scam. It really isn't. I mean, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, they tried to talk me into it," and I told them where to put it. It's not really all that. I mean, they're there to help you, and I've done a couple personal training sessions myself, and I learned something every time. I talk to them, and because it's good to have someone watch your form. It's good to get a second opinion. It's good to get other thoughts on, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm working through this injury. What do you recommend? People have told me this, and this. Do you agree with that? And they're anywhere from like $30 to $50 for like an hour session. So it's really is a good investment, especially if you're just starting out.
If you don't know what you're doing, for sure, definitely. Because it's somebody that's going to be able to help you learn the forms to what you're trying to do. And then from there, if you want to go off on your own, by all means. The only I have done one personal training session like where I had a trainer, in my lifetime, and it was when I signed up for a gym and they had a free one. I said, why not? If somebody else will come up a workout for me for today. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is he'd seen me there before, and he was like, all right, you know what you're doing. I was about to go home, but if you want, we can just do a workout. I was like, sounds good. He said, you want to try this pre-workout? And then he just gave me some pre-workout.
That's
and
awesome.
then we just worked out together.
You guys became friends out of it.
Yeah, we did a jack dude handshake, where they lock arms real fast.
Oh man, like they do in the NFL.
It's not a real thing. I didn't do that. But
should we do one for the camera?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's totally inappropriate, right?
No, I was down. Okay, I've seen a lot of quarterbacks and their wide receivers do it after a touchdown pass.
Straight face for that. I can't do it right now.
All right, fine. Then we'll skip it.
We'll maybe come back to that later.
No, that ship has sailed. What are some common mistakes that you see people make in the gym?
Everything.
Well, that's
the majority of people in there do something wrong. But then again,
probably
form's big. Etiquette's another one.
Oh my gosh, talk about it.
But
put your weights away, folks.
There's so much that I think people do wrong, like unconsciously. Like they don't know that they're doing it wrong. because of that same thing we were talking about. They never learned how to do it correctly. So
again, personal trainers, they're not all bad.
No, just learn what you're doing, and you don't like. It's not the gym isn't some place you have to go in and be like intimidated or anything like that. Like, I know some people feel like people are watching them, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what do you care? Do you know these people anyway, even if they are watching you?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, if you're in the gym and I'm in the gym, I probably have no desire to see what you're doing there. So, and I feel like most of your serious people are gonna be that way. I'm not somebody that just goes in there to play around on my phone or something like that. So,
yeah,
if you're in there and you're serious, nobody cares what you're doing.
Yep, they're gonna give you props for being there. And I heard a pretty cool story. I'll try to shorten it down. About I think it was going viral on Facebook, and this lady saw another lady working out, and clearly dealing with some weight loss challenges. Right after the new year, overweight, and she seemed trying her best, but she was doing just a terrible job. Right, she didn't know what she was doing, and there were some people kind of talking to each other, and the writer of the story could tell that they were making fun of this lady, and said lady could also tell. And she puts her weights away and she starts crying and goes to the locker room. So our author goes into the locker, and there she is, sits crying, and she's like, hey, what's going on? And she goes, my dad passed away. I think it was like a heart, some type of heart issue due to his being overweight. I guess he was quite obese. And she said, my doctor said, the same thing's going to happen to me if I don't get my weight under control. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here scared. I'm just trying my best. And she's like, people are laughing at me, and I don't know what to do. It's like, I'm scared. I don't want to die early, but I don't want to be here and be made fun of. And so our author says, what, let's go out there, like, screw those people. We're going to do our thing. And I'll teach you some stuff. I don't know a ton, but I'll teach you some stuff. So they went out, they started working out together. The lady started getting better, and they taught her what she could. And then, I think this part's awesome, the writer goes ahead and tells the gym, like, hey, these people over here being real jerks to this lady. And I think there were 3 of them, and they all got banned from all of those. I don't recall. I don't know what gym it was, but from all of their branches, they're like, all right, you're done. You're not coming back here. We don't make fun of people. Like,
that's awesome.
How cool is that? Like, especially at the New Year's time, it's all these people coming in. I get the gym's busy, but when I see that, there's definitely a part of me that's a little bit frustrated, but because I have to wait for the dumbbells or whatever. But on the same note, I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, these people are getting in there, they're making a difference in their own lives, and one person at a time, baby, we change the world, right? That's what the Live Joyful Lifestyle is about. So I applaud each and every one of you who are just getting started, and I hope this video helps, and I hope this recording helps, whether you're listening on Spotify or on YouTube or iTunes or wherever. I hope this helps you. I hope this inspires you to kind of get out and make a change, right? Make a difference in your own life, make a difference in your family's life, and live your best life. And this is the one way to do it. In closing, though, dude, what's one piece of advice, for living your best physical life that you would give our listeners?
The biggest thing, definitely fitness, but staying healthy and in the right mindset altogether would be focus. Because if you don't have a goal, if you're not working towards something, if you aren't motivated by something, then it's hard to do any of these things, right? Nobody wants to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get ready and go to the gym at 5. Nobody wants to do that. At least not if you don't have a goal, if you're not driven by something. Nobody wants to spend time meal prepping and trimming the fat off of stuff when they could go 30 seconds away and have a burger and fries handed to them for $2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all about the end goal. It's all about that determination, that purpose that you're doing it. So focus is the biggest thing.
That's so true. And find what drives you. What's your focus? What are you focused on? What's your purpose? Your purpose could be, like the lady in our story there. She didn't want to die or an early death. She saw what her dad went through. She didn't want to live the same life. It could be someone who says, hey, I want to be around in my kids' lives for as much as possible. I want them to have a dad or a mom,
Yeah.
and that's important. It could just be, you know what, I feel incredible when I work out. I feel healthy, I feel alive, just by getting to the gym 3 times a week or whatever. You don't need to be some gym rat, right? And that's not what I'm trying to say in this episode. I'm just trying to give benefit to physical health.
Well, and don't feel bad if you're ever in there and you don't feel good.
Yeah.
Because it's not always while you're in there that you feel good. If, personally, if I feel great while I'm in there, I'm either in a really good mood, I'm in a really just all around solid place, like, pretty much on all accounts, or I'm not pushing hard enough. Like, those are the only 2 ways. Everything has to be perfect, the conditions have to be completely perfect, or I'm not working hard enough. When I'm working hard, it doesn't feel good. It feels good after, so don't feel bad if you're in there and you're not enjoying it to what you think you should.
That's true, man. I couldn't agree more. And so yeah, guys, just go ahead and find what drives you. And once you do that, once you set your purpose, once you set your goal, don't let anything derail you. This guy's a perfect example.
Lock it.
He wouldn't even come out to dinner with me sometimes. Like I said in the beginning, he'd be like, gotta hit the gym, I'll be over at 11. Dude, I'm gonna be sleeping by 11.
That's his fault. I'll sleep when I die.
Huh? That's his famous phrase. So, guys, until next week, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like it, please share it, and definitely subscribe. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, and continue to live the joyful lifestyle. Until next week, stay happy, stay humble.